Hi, I'm Graham Cumming. I'm the NHS Lothian Innovation Champion, which is a bit of a silly title, but one of the best jobs going actually in the NHS Lothian. So for the Edinburgh Apps, our challenge is going backwards. Is changes, turn and face the strange. You can tell the week that we were asked to come up with a title. But the thing about this title and this particular song is that our challenge is very much about how do we help people when they're about to turn and face the strange and get into something that's a bit different for them and what some of the impact of that can be for them. In terms of the impact of the challenge, recent studies have identified the following health issues related to the challenge that we're going to set for you today. It is bad for your health as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It increases the risk of suicide and depression amongst adolescents. It can double the risk of a person's chances of developing dementia. And it increases the risk of developing mental health problems. So what is our challenge that we want to set you today to come up with some exciting solutions as to how we can reduce those impacts? It's loneliness. And when can it be most prevalent? It's most prevalent when it happens during transitions in people's lives. Again, this thing where they're going to be faced with something that's potentially strange to them. And the three key transitions that we'd like you to focus on today are transitioning from school to a positive destination. That could be employment, further education. And it's something that is particularly challenged for children who've been in looked after accommodation, who are leaving school but are also having to go and find new places to live and create new communities for them. Another cohort was people transitioning back into the community of being in a sort of structured environment where things are done for them, their cooking's been done for them, their laundry's been done for them. Prison's a particular community when offenders are having to go back from where they've been into the community and to different environments. So there's a range of people obviously leave the penal system. And another cohort that are in that similar situation are people who are leaving the military, but again they've had everything done for them and they're having to go back into the community and make new relationships in that environment. And the third and the last one is when you transition from you're part of a couple to living alone, and either that's through divorce, separation, or the death of a partner. And there's a range of people that are impacted upon that. Middle-aged blokes are particularly hardly impacted upon that, so something for me to be a bit worried about. Obviously women as well, in terms of living longer than their partners, and they're left there separated following death. And the guy sitting there with the dog, it's what they've identified, particularly with homeless people, is why a lot of people have pets, is that's for a lot of these people are their companions. And I know in Munich had identified that, and how Munich engages with these people is that they offer free veterinary services to the homeless, so that when they come in for the veterinary service, their pet will get looked after at the same time, the civic partners, and then Munich can then work with the individual as well around what are the issues, their health issues, their social issues, a whole range of things. So in terms of data, which is quite hard to come by, is usually generally done by studies. And this has shown us that 68% of adults say they feel lonely, either often, always, or sometimes. That's most acute amongst the 18 to 34-year-old age group, which surprises a lot of people, certainly surprised me when I came across that statistic. That you think with the social networking generation that loneliness wouldn't be as big an impact on them. That more than a third of respondents have less interaction with the people they know now than they did 5 years ago, and 16% only interact socially with others once a week or less. So what challenges do we need your ideas to help overcome? We look to see if we can help create new physical social networks, so it isn't just networking on Facebook, Twitter, all this sort of digital platforms, it's how can you actually bring people together. How do we help people to feel positively with feelings of loss and separation, and help people to feel at home in new accommodation settings? So what are the trick points we need to create and connect? So what is the sort of data that we need to start to look at to help us to identify people at risk of becoming lonely so it can actually be preventative, and we can spot where people might have the potential through a whole range of data things pulled together that would put them at that potential risk. How do we signpost people to vote? Varied range of activities of interest to a mix of people. And how can we create connectivity between people who are lonely with each other and people who want to help them? We previously had an event a couple of years ago, and we pitched this idea there around loneliness. And some of the options that came up there were develop good neighbour campaigns such as Steer Ember and One Maloney that encourage people to engage with neighbours that they don't know that live in the same community. Link the care housing providers to look at how some of the facilities they've got that are shared areas that we can create group activities, not just with people within the care home or the shelter home environment, but open that up to the wider community that live next door to them. Signpost local activities and bus stops and lampposts, again, to make people aware of what activities are out there. And map out activities that people can engage in. Educate young people to enable them to avoid becoming lonely in the future, because when you see that statistic about the 18 to 34-year-olds, from our perspective, I think that's potentially a ticking time bomb, that as that cohort grow older and still haven't addressed the issues of loneliness, then this is going to become a very acute issue to deal with in the future. So, if you survive death by PowerPoint, there's a link that we've got to a TED talk, and if we've got time at lunchtime, we might play that one just to give you some of that wider dimensions around the impact that this has globally. It's based in America, but loneliness is a global issue. So, thanks for listening to me.